You're listening to Weight Loss for Life Coaches, Episode 17, with Master Certified Life and Weight Loss Coach, Paige Bowman.
Welcome to Weight Loss for Life Coaches, the weekly podcast for coaches who are growing their coaching business and on their weight loss journey. Each week, we'll be tackling why weight loss feels hard and how to make hitting your weight loss goal the simplest thing you do all day. Hello, and welcome to today's episode. We are going to be talking all about using your powerful coaching tools on your weight loss journey so you can make it more simple and doable right now with everything you already have. The idea for this podcast episode came to me when I was thinking about the main thing I help my clients with, who are coaches. And I was thinking about how we already know such amazing coaching tools that we use on ourselves and we use with our clients. And whether you're certified with the Life Coach School, that's where I'm a Master Certified Coach with, or ICF, or you're not certified and you've come up with your own tools, or maybe you have tools that you have really put together and borrowed from other coaches that you've learned on your journey. And I was thinking about how whatever my clients come to me with, knowing how to coach or using on themselves, I just help them master doing that on their weight loss journey. Most of my clients aren't weight loss coaches. They're business coaches and life coaches and relationship coaches, etc. But they all still have super powerful tools that they use with their clients. And what I do is I help them use that in an area that they haven't maybe really thought about using their own tools, i.e. weight loss, right? That's what we're talking about on this podcast. And so what I do is I help them use whatever they're really good at using on themselves in other areas or with their clients. And I help them use their own tools on their weight loss journey. So of course I coach them and I teach them my own tools, right? You all have heard me talk about how simple I keep my tool belt. And then I have them maybe do some other kind of coaching tools and use those on their journey if they don't already use those. But otherwise, I help them take what they already know and make that really strengthen their weight loss journey. And again, make it simple and full of ease. So what I'm going to do on this podcast episode is take you through a couple of the top coaching tools that I use personally and that I offer to my clients as well, and help you see and visualize how you can use these tools, especially if you already have these on your tool belt as well, and use these tools on your weight loss journey. And I'll show you examples and what I do. So this one's going to be really good. I'm excited. The first tool that I want to talk about, I call a thought download. And I first heard this term through the first couple of coaching programs, but mainly the Life Coach School. That's really where I am pulling all of my coaching tools because that's where I got certified. But also some of these I have paired with other things that I've learned along the way. So for example, a thought download is you just putting your thoughts on paper. And that can look like a literal list of your thoughts that you're thinking. And it can be about a topic, or it can be just the thoughts that come to your brain at that moment. And so a lot of my clients know this because I either teach it or they use it. But even if you've never heard the word thought download, just think about it like this. You're downloading your brain onto paper. I also, though, like to combine a thought download with something I've learned from The Artist's Way, which is a book. I can't remember the author, but I'll put it in the show notes, where she talks about doing morning pages. And she teaches you to, I just remembered the author, Julie Cameron. Anyway, she teaches you to do morning pages where you write 3 pages, unfiltered, just you putting your brain on paper. It can be wholly unedited, half sentences, whole sentences, whatever. But the point is to just practice getting your brain on paper. And I like to combine these two, the thought download, the morning pages. I also like to call it a free write, where I'll just set a timer and I'll just write away for 10 minutes. And what we're doing here is we're getting our brain on paper. And that's the whole point of a thought download or morning pages, is to get your brain on paper. And this is so important on your weight loss journey, because every thought that you're thinking that doesn't serve you comes from some old beliefs that don't serve you, that really you wouldn't be thinking on purpose if you saw that it was there, right? Like sometimes they say that we have like 60,000 thoughts that we think a day. So there's a lot of thoughts running through your brain. And if you're not paying attention to each and every one of those, which of course, totally impossible, you're probably acting off of some thoughts that just wouldn't create the result that you wanted it to create if you realized what the thought was. So for example, I just got off a call with a client who is working on the hunger scale, which I think was the last episode. It was 2 episodes ago. So episode 15, I talked about the hunger and fullness scale. And she is using the hunger scale to lose her next 5 pounds. And after 2 days, she lost 2 pounds using and focusing on the hunger scale. And then she had a thought, and we found this in our call together. She had a thought that she's good. She doesn't need to think about this anymore. She doesn't need to think about the hunger and fullness scale. She's figured it out. She's good to go. And then she ended up gaining those 2 pounds back over the week because she did exactly that, stopped thinking about the hunger scale. And so what we talked about is every day giving yourself the opportunity to see what thoughts about, whether it's that one tool you're working on, whether it's about food or your body specifically, or your weight loss journey, giving yourself just a few minutes a day to see what thoughts are going through your brain can change the game. I'm probably going to say that about every single tool. It'll change the game, but I mean it. So pick one, start out with it, and then add more as you continue on. But the thought download or the free write or morning pages, I wanted to start with because with so many thoughts going through your brain, with so many of them probably based in old stories and old beliefs that are creating your current result, not being at your weight loss goal, we want to give you the opportunity to see what those thoughts are and then change them or get curious about them or see them for what they are as thoughts and not facts, and then stop acting from them or showing up from them so that they're no longer creating you not being at your goal weight anymore. And that is going to take time, putting your thoughts on paper, seeing them, and then getting curious about them or seeing them as just thoughts, not facts, and no longer acting from them anymore. That's going to take time. But if just today you started with giving yourself 5 minutes to put your brain on paper, put your thoughts on paper, do a thought download, do a free write about whatever part of your journey you're on, or maybe it's your journey in general, that will build up exponentially. It'll help you, one, see that your thoughts are your thoughts, right? Like not just facts that are running through your brain, but thoughts, opinions, subjective things that you're thinking on a daily basis. It's so good to know that when I look at myself and I think that I don't look great today, but I put that down on a piece of paper, I can see that it's a thought that I'm thinking, which is good to know because that probably doesn't feel good, but also it's not a fact. It's a thought that I'm choosing to think about myself. And over time, I can get curious about that, see where that's coming from, and then choose on purpose what I do want to think about myself when I look at myself in the mirror. The other reason this one is so important is because it's helping you see your thoughts minus the judgment. So when you're doing a thought download or you're doing your free write and you're putting your thoughts down on paper about your journey, we're doing so minus the judgment. And this is what I really learned from Cameron, who wrote Artist's Way. She says that the point of writing your morning pages is to practice seeing all your thoughts, putting them all on paper, seeing all the things that your brain comes up with without judgment. We're just being mindful, literally mindful about the thoughts that you're thinking, because it's totally different with them going through your brain than putting them on paper. So you're being mindful about the thoughts you're thinking without judgment, without shame, without thinking negative things about the things in your brain. We just want to really get practice at seeing what those thoughts are, because then we can do something about them, or we can get curious about them, or we can just have some awareness and compassion that that's what's going through our brain. Okay, good to know. The last piece I'll say about doing a thought download, and that being a powerful coaching tool to use on your weight loss journey, is that it can also be something that you use to direct your brain on purpose. So you can do a thought download just to see what's coming up in your brain right now about maybe the hunger scale, or about your journey, or about your current weight, or about your goal. And you can also direct your brain on purpose. So you can write down the thoughts that you want to be thinking, or see what kind of thoughts you would have if you were the person who always stopped at full, and see what those thoughts would be. Or you can see what thoughts that you would have about if you were at your weight loss goal. What would those thoughts be? So the thought download, or free write, or morning pages, a powerful coaching tool to use on your weight loss journey. And it's one I would highly recommend getting started with today. Give yourself just a couple of minutes to put your thoughts on paper, and then let this be the one. That's why I started out with it. Let this be the one that you start using on your weight loss journey today. Okay, the second coaching tool is going to be specifically from the Life Coach School, and that is the model. So the coaching model is something that Life Coach School teaches, and when you get certified, of course, you use it in your coaching. So I'm just going to teach it here really quick in case you haven't heard of it. But of course, if you are a Life Coach School coach, or you've been taught it, by all means, hang out with us for a second while I explain it, and then I'll show you exactly how to use it on your weight loss journey. So the model is CTFAR. So we have C for circumstances, which are the factual, neutral things of the world that we could all agree on are true. So the sky is blue with white clouds today. Well, it's actually gray out. Or the trees are green. These are all things that are factually true. The facts are, this is what the scale says is my weight right now. So those are the circumstances. So you would put in the circumstance line, you would put what the facts are that you're going to do a model on. The T line, so it's CTFAR, the T line are your thoughts. So for example, today I said I was going to have a frozen meal. It's just one of those days. And then I ate that frozen meal. So in the circumstance line, I would put, I ate what I planned. And then in the T line, I would put, dang, I'm proud of myself. And that's my thought about me honoring my plan. The F is for feelings. So you'll just put one feeling. So for this model, I feel proud. And then A is for actions. And here you would put all the actions that you would do if you were thinking, dang, I'm proud of myself. I think that was a thought that I said. And the feeling is proud. What do I do or don't do from that place? So for me, it actually motivates me to look at my planner and maybe put a check mark next to my plan. If you haven't heard me talk about the 3 super simple steps to weight loss, that is episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put it in the show notes, but it's where you just plan your food, you write it down, and you honor your plan. And I still use this tool sometimes in maintenance, and I'm using it right now. And if you're listening to this in real time, I also have a super special webinar coming up very soon, and it's about the 3 super simple steps. So watch out for that one. But my A line from feeling proud, my actions would be to open up my food journal, to look at what my plan is for later on today, because I'm so in that feeling good feeling that it's like a dopamine hit to keep going with what I was doing. It feels so good to know that I planned this and I honored it. It also has me allowing urges, which is another A line, allow urges to eat something else. Another action I would have is to just check in with my stomach, check in with my body signal, and make sure I'm using my hunger and fullness scale and listening to my body. And then the R line is your result. So what result do I create in my life by doing those actions, by looking at my food journal, by looking at later on today's plan, by allowing urges? What result does that create for me is building a positive relationship with myself and with planning. So the result I've created is really fun, really awesome. I love that. So I give you this example of how to use a model because it's a great way to take a look at the things that are happening on your weight loss journey or that you want to happen on your weight loss journey. You can put your weight in the circumstance line because it's a fact, and then you can see what your thoughts are about it. What's the feeling that that creates in your body? What do you do or not do? And what result does that create for you? Now, if you use a model already, this might sound really obvious, but I'm telling you to remember to use this tool on your weight loss journey because all of my clients know the model. Even if they're not certified with the Life Coach School, they know the model. They've heard it from other people. They know I teach it. And it's still something that we just don't, unless we're being purposeful about it, we just don't use on our weight loss journey. But it's such a powerful tool to see what thought you have about a circumstance, something that happened in the world, and then see what feeling that creates for you, what you do or don't do from that feeling, and what result that creates for you. It helps you, similar to the thought download, see what you're creating in your life and where that's coming from. So if you put your weight in the circumstance line today, let yourself, similar again to the thought download, without judgment, see what thought you're having about that. And then what feeling comes up for you when you're thinking that thought. And then what do you do or not do? And what result does that create? We're just like literally trying to build awareness on the journey using our powerful coaching tools. That's the biggest thing I want you to take away from even these first two coaching tools that we're talking about today. We are getting some awareness, and it's something that you probably do in other areas of your life, especially your business. Hello, coaches, setting big goals, growing your business, CEOs. It's what we're doing with our business. And I know you're doing it with your clients, but I want to offer it's as powerful to do it on your weight loss journey. You can use the model in so many ways. I gave you an example today, but I want you to consider just trying it out if you've never used the model in the way I taught it. And if you know the model, try putting different kinds of things in the circumstance line or pull some thoughts from your thought download and put those in a model one at a time and see what feeling that creates, what you do or don't do, and what result that creates for you. Okay, that's the model. So we've talked about doing a thought download, doing a model, and the third coaching tool I wanted to offer to you is processing emotions. This one is one of my favorite tools. I use it with all of my clients. I use it with myself so much. And I know that processing emotions is big in the coaching world right now. So I wanted to talk to you about it, show you how you can use it on your weight loss journey and how you can use processing emotions to help you get to your weight loss goal. When I say processing emotions, what I mean by that is the technique of noticing an emotion in your body and letting it leave your body. So the way I talk to my clients about it is when you're thinking something, that thought process will create an emotion. That's just how the brain and the body function. And when you have that chemical in your body because you were thinking something and that sent that signal to the body to produce the chemical. So earlier with my model example, I said that, dang, I'm proud of following my food plan today. and I felt proud. And that feeling, that chemical, that emotion in my body, it feels a certain way. So a processing emotion technique might be to go into my body, think about what this chemical, what this emotion, some people call it a vibration, feels like in my body. And then I can breathe and think about that emotion as it actually dissolves. This is something that I teach all of my clients, and we focus on it because it's a technique that even if you're taught, it takes practice to get good at. So I just want to offer, if you know about processing emotions and you're good at it, go ahead and start using it on your weight loss journey with what we're going to talk about today. But if you're just now really understanding what that means with how I'm explaining it, don't worry. Just know that there will be more episodes coming on processing emotions and allowing urges, but it could be as simple as noticing you're having a vibration, an emotion in your body, and letting your mind really go into your body to see what that emotion feels like, and then to breathe it out. Because when you're thinking about your body, you're no longer producing that emotion. Now you're producing a new one because you're thinking new thoughts, and that gives the body a break to then release that emotion. So that is my most simple explanation of processing emotions. So if you just now are learning about that, you can use that and move right along with us. So the way I want you to think about processing emotions is, one, you can use this tool to allow urges. It's the same thing with an urge or a craving in your body. It's an emotion that will have you going to get the food. And if you're paying attention to your body and your emotions with this coaching tool, you can then allow the urge to pass by in the same way we just talked about. That would be my number one recommendation with processing emotions and using this tool on your weight loss journey, is to allow the urge when you're thinking, I want that thing, I want that cookie. It wasn't on my food plan today, but I want it. And now I've created desire and or an urge in my body, and that is an emotion. And now I'm about to get up and go get that cookie because that emotion in my body will have me go take the action. So if you are practice that processing emotions, I would highly recommend using it to allow the urge to leave your body instead of acting on it. That would be my number one recommendation with processing emotions. And number two with processing emotions is to see what your top three, let's say, emotions are that you tend to eat instead of feeling. So, for example, anxiety is one of my top emotions that I would eat to cover up. I didn't want to feel this in my body. I didn't want to feel the tension in my chest. I didn't want to feel how my stomach felt like there were butterflies in it, but not in a good way. So I would eat to focus on something else to make that emotion go away. So what are the top three emotions that you find yourself eating to no longer feel? Another one of mine was overwhelm, especially during my work hours, whether it was at my full-time job when I was working full-time or here at my desk working on my coaching business. If I was feeling overwhelmed, it felt like my brain was foggy and my chest was heavy and I would slump over, my shoulders would slump over, and I couldn't think, like my brain was just so full of thoughts. That's how that emotion felt in my body. And that is another one that I would go eat to make go away. So what are your top three emotions that you eat to no longer feel? And then let those be the top three that you get good at processing instead. This is a beautiful way to use processing emotions on your weight loss journey. I'm telling you, learning and getting good at processing my emotions has changed my life. Not just weight loss, not just my business, but in relationships, in my relationship with myself, in thinking about my life, whether it's on a daily basis or getting existential, letting my emotions come up, not covering those up, and then processing them, especially when it was an emotion that it didn't feel good, or maybe I really sat with it for a few days and then it was time to let it go. This one coaching tool has changed the game for me. I said I would say it for every tool, but I really mean it with processing emotions. Okay, so that's 3 coaching tools: doing a thought download, doing a model, or processing emotions. And I want to give you one bonus coaching tool to use on your weight loss journey, and that is asking powerful questions. The best part of coaching, in my opinion, is when a coach asks me a powerful question. You all know I love powerful questions. I end most of my podcast episodes with powerful questions for you to think about. I love asking my clients powerful questions and having them mine their own brain for answers is one of the best parts of this job. And I'm sure you probably feel the same way as you're a coach who probably asks powerful questions to your clients. And what I want you to think about with this bonus coaching tool is to consider doing that for yourself. Get to know yourself with powerful questions. Get to understand what it is that you really want or don't want anymore by asking yourself powerful questions. Practice being curious with yourself on every part of your weight loss journey, whether it's about your food choices, your weight goal, the way you think and feel about your body, where you're at right now on your weight loss journey, what you want to be different, what you want to be the same. These are all different areas where you can put on your curiosity hat and ask yourself some powerful questions. It's what I do. Even though I'm at my weight loss goal, I still ask myself powerful questions about my health, my body, the things that I want to continue. I don't know what the word is, but not to get better at, but to continue growing in my relationship with my body, right? To continue getting stronger and building my endurance, to continue bettering my health. And powerful questions are how I continue to understand myself. So this bonus coaching tool isn't just for weight loss. I mean, all of them aren't just for weight loss. You can use these, of course, in any way on your weight loss journey and afterwards. But consider the relationship that it takes to have with yourself, to ask yourself powerful questions and hear your answers. It's just another way of building your relationship with yourself, of getting to know yourself without judgment. Heck, you could even pair asking yourself powerful questions with a thought download or a free write. That would be a fun way to put those two together, and then maybe pick one of those thoughts out and do a model on it. Put it all together. And instead of giving you powerful questions at the end of today's episode, I want you to consider what your powerful questions would be from listening to this episode, and then go think about those today. That is it for today's episode. I hope you all got so much out of how you could use these coaching tools that you probably already know, and if you don't, now you do, on other areas of your life or with your clients. But now think about how can you use them on your weight loss journey. And then once you've hit your goal, how you continue to use these powerful coaching tools on bettering your health or getting stronger in your body or whatever maybe the next goal is. Because as long as you have a brain and a body, these would be powerful tools in whatever area of growth might come next. And with such powerful coaching tools, you have everything you need to change your story around food and your body. You really, really do. Here's the thing, where coaching comes in with having someone else as your coach is in helping you master using these tools that you use in other areas and with your clients in this area that you haven't yet. So if that's something you would like help with, you would like help using these kinds of tools on your simple weight loss journey, just let me know. Send me a message on Instagram at LifeCoachPageB, or You can book a consult call by going to paigebowman.com/services and book your call. This is exactly what I do with my clients. I help them take these tools and master them so they can have a simple weight loss journey. If you love today's episode, leave us a review and give us 5 stars. And of course, share this episode with your fellow life coaches who probably want to know how to use their very own powerful coaching tools on their weight loss journey. All right, y'all, I will see you next week. Bye.